Okay, so we will open the meeting. This is the Wednesday, October 3rd meeting of the Police Station Building Committee. Need to ask if anybody's recording the meeting other than LakeCAM. See, nobody is recording. So our first order of business is to approve our meeting minutes for August 1 and September 12th. Anybody have any questions relative to those meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve meeting minutes from August 1st and September 12th as written.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Well, any discussion, I guess is a better way of putting it. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions? All right, so our next order of business is a construction update, and I'll turn this over to Taylor.
Okay, great. I'm going to have Bob give an update on what's been going on.
Good afternoon, everybody. Since the last committee meeting, there's been progress on the site. KLS Concrete have finished installing the concrete slabs for the Sally Port along with the outbuilding. SW Cole was on site during the concrete pour and passed the concrete testing. Wayne Griffin, the electrician, along with Ramco Survey State Company, the site contractor, have finished installing the primary, secondary, and communication conduits along with the duct banks to the main building. Ramco Survey State Company are presently installing the catch basins, drainage, and roof drainage piping. They also installed the tight tank for the Sally Port along with the help of LaPan Mechanical, who is the plumbing contractor. Yesterday, LLS Enterprises have finished field welding the moment connections for the steel beams. Paul Lacey from AP Whitaker is trying to schedule the testing agency to inspect all field welds for this Friday. Brunswick Building Systems have installed 40% of the exterior metal studs for the main building and is scheduled to be finished by next week. BPI Construction have finished with the exterior wood frame walls for the outbuilding and have moved to the main building, installing the double wood plates to the steel beams. The wood trusses for the outbuildings will arrive on site this Friday, and next Monday we'll start installation. Over the next few weeks, we should see the following. Masons will be on site to install the CMU for the detention area along with the Sally Port walls. The septic systems will be installed, and wood trusses will arrive on site and be installed for the main building starting October 15th. And hopefully we'll have an asphalt binder coat to be installed by the end of the month. And that's what's updated.
Great. Any questions? The contract is looking to try to get weather tight before snow starts flying, so it's going to be tight, but he hopes to get the trusses on, start roofing, and then they'll button up those exterior walls. So that's the main goal right now.
Who's the sub doing the septic install?
Let me see.
I think that's Ramco, the civil
It is Ramco, you're right.
civil contractor. Yeah.
Yep. It is Ramco, that's right.
Overall project schedule, contractor's still on schedule. No changes there.
Norm from AP Whitaker dropped by late this afternoon and gave me an updated construction schedule for the remaining of the project. So I haven't had a chance to review it yet, but I'll do tomorrow morning.
As far as our budget update, I did pass that out. We can go over any questions if there were any. That's this document here. So what I did was I added in change order 3. At our last meeting, we approved a number of changes I have change order 3 here to be signed by the committee. The total of those changes was $56,763.35. So you'll see the addition to general construction line 1. Your change order 3 was added there with the total effect of the contingency. Down the bottom in line 27, which has that contingency now at 1.5 million.
Okay. I think generally the issue that Mitzi and John had with the with how this is shown is really it comes down, I think, to the contingency aspect of it. I think they Tim.
Hi.
Their concern, I think, is that it's not necessarily a contingency as much as it's just under the budget. And how did they want to see it broken out? Do you remember? And I said to them both, take a minute and call and talk about this with Taylor.
Yeah.
Because he's happy to show it any way you want to see it.
Sure.
And I knew I'd never remember what they said.
Yeah, if they want to reach out, that's fine.
I do remember they
Right.
were looking at this, tying in somehow to this too. They were looking at the columns.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
I can explain any reasons for any differences there, certainly.
But I think like in A, on the changes, the total 71,000, you have change order number 3 added, and at the bottom you just list change order 1, 2, and 3. And if you, I guess they're looking at this, which column adds up to the 71,381?
Which column would?
Yeah,
Columns, the owner request. Well, really, yeah, your owner request, and your unforeseen.
actually that comes out to
Yeah,
more than.
and I think, you know, so I think
And the
Mitzi's
design,
concern
in the
was-
design column.
Mitzi's
which is
concern was
negative.
more of an accounting concern, because she's an accountant. I think John's general concern is that, you know, we've got a design that we're going with. He doesn't want to see the contingency used to buy back a bunch of stuff. Really was his thought on it, you know, that he wants to try to stay pretty close to the design we have. So I'm just sharing that. That's less about this than probably just a general opinion about it, which I don't necessarily disagree with to a certain degree. But I think we need to add back some of the things that are necessary for the department in terms of security and safety. But I don't want to see a cupola, right? So.
Not unless we build it.
Yeah, Kate and I may tackle that ourselves one weekend. That may be dangerous.
Yeah, the only thing that we've added back in from that BE list has been the gate.
Sure, no,
That's
and
it.
I get it. And I think, so what I'm gonna do is again suggest to either of them to contact you if they have questions about reporting or you know, how they'd like to see the numbers done, because again, I think this is fine and I understand what I'm looking at because I've been at these meetings. I don't know, how come nobody's laughing with the dark glasses?
I'm trying to hold
Because I wear
it.
glasses myself.
Just realized I had them on. This is how I spend my whole day in front of a computer, basically, you know. So that's really all I need to say about that. I think, like I said, I'll encourage her to get with you in terms of what her expectation is for this report. And I think if, the way she explained it, it'll just make it easier for all of us
Sure.
to understand what's going on, so that's really it for that.
Just to answer, Rita, your question, so if you were trying to match up the columns, what you have to do is look at the total breakdown of date in the bottom, and you have to really look at the change order number, because there might be a final value for it. Take change number 9, for example. The final value of that was 20 grand in total, but it was rejected. So it doesn't,
Okay.
it doesn't go against the budget. So we keep track of every single change, whether or not it's approved, part of a change order, or it's rejected, or NA. So that 20 grand is in that final value, but it's not, you know, on the change order list, but it doesn't carry over to your change orders. 'Cause it was
I didn't
rejected.
notice this on the bottom.
Yeah, so
That's
that,
good.
that should help. And again, if I'll speak to them, and certainly I can reach out.
Yeah.
It's not a problem at all.
But 8 hasn't been added, right?
8? What was 8?
The gate, right? Wait a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, 8.
8, the slide gate, 8 is in there.
It's here, but
Apart,
not-
change, 8R, 8B is not, that's the Signet portion. So the portion that the selectmen voted on is in change order 3 today.
But it's not in the bottom part.
It is, it's under change order 3. So
Okay.
each change, there's changes included in change orders. So when I
Okay.
say change, I'm talking about
Okay,
one.
all right.
And then, so that change order 3 has, I think, 8 different changes in it.
From last,
Yes.
the last
Yeah,
meeting.
see, they're all over here.
Oh, all right, okay,
So all of these are the components of this.
Correct.
perfect.
So that might be where some of their confusion is, but
Are there really any significant VE items that we haven't addressed? You know, we basically took care of the gate, that was the big one.
the gate was the biggest one. We took out the high-density storage.
Right.
But I did just find out that the furniture supplier carried high-density storage in their number, and we're still under budget with our furniture line. So we might be able to get that back without spending any additional money at all.
So what's left really should be more of the contingency.
Yeah, if an issue comes up,
Unforeseeable
unforeseen
type,
conditions,
right.
yeah, if something in the design is, you know, missed, but, yeah, I don't think there's anything else we're adding back in that we took out previously.
Especially the cupola.
No, there's no cupola going back in. So let's stay on the change order log while we have it, because there's really only 2 changes. We met 2 weeks ago, so really too much hasn't changed here. What I did was have the contractor, I've had the architect prepare change order 3, which is everything we approved at our last week's, 2 weeks meeting ago. So what we have left is one that we talked about last time, 7R, which is the countertop change to go from the laminated to a solid surface. And I did send that info to Mike, and he agreed with it. He was okay with that once he looked at it. So if that's one that we want to move forward on, we should move forward on that. And then the other one is 8B. This is for $16,780, and this is the actual security components to that gate. So we already voted through the infrastructure for it, the electrical work, the piping, the conduit. The security portion of that would be the actual reader itself, programming, any work that's going on in the head-end equipment for the security system. So we looked at that as well. So those are the 2 components that make up that one change. Any questions on those? Do we want to make a motion to approve one or the other, both?
So move for both?
I'm fine with both. I thought with the Signet portion, we perhaps were waiting to see if we were adding additional cameras or anything like that and do it as one, or we're gonna do them separately. Wasn't there a piece that we might be adding some other
2 cameras out.
In the outbuilding, that would be separate.
separate?
Yeah.
All right. I'll make a motion to accept 7R and 8B.
You just
Oh, is that
second,
this?
yeah.
Okay, second. Oh, you made the motion?
Any further discussion? Hearing
Must
none,
be
all
hungry.
those in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries, it's unanimous.
Okay, moving on to the hot list. Again, this is getting shorter as we get into construction, because really we're focused on construction items, but as we get towards the end of the project, kind of the things before you move into a building, we'll start jumping on this list. But right now, our utility notifications, that process is ongoing. with all the utilities, we haven't had any issues. TMLP is working with us, the gas company, also Verizon, Comcast, and E911. They've all been kept abreast of the project, and things are moving well with them. We don't have any issues to report right now. So that's an item that we actually have ongoing in our smaller meetings. We talk about each and every one of those and where those are.
In Middleborough G&E, the selectmen voted to approve that.
Yes, okay, that's actually on the back here. We just needed that signed easement.
Yeah.
So, the curb cut submission, again, that's with the town on the park side of things right now. Just keeping it open in our log so we don't lose track of it.
We need to discuss that, right? We've got to get the plan to Mass DOT. Is
Jamie's got to
doing all of
resubmit,
that?
so that, aside from this, Jamie's going to resubmit to MassDOT relative to just the Ted Williams Camp entrance.
Okay.
Yep.
Furniture, the chief and I met with WB Mason on Monday or Tuesday. And we went over where we were with the furniture selection. We went through each room, made sure we had everything, so they're redoing their quote. But again, I think we're going to be under where we were projecting that quote to be, and that's with the high-density storage, so things look good there. So the next portion of that will be selecting colors, so whoever wants to attend that can. It's usually, not too many people want to have that job, so.
Aren't you going to have a color committee like we did at the library? We did.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
I'm going to opt out.
You should point to multiple people, right?
The radio survey and the radio bidding, I spoke with Chick today. That's going out very soon. He's putting the final touches on that RFP. E911 coordination, again, that's ongoing pretty much weekly. Dispatch consoles, we'll order those mid-project. Start sending the chief information on that so you guys can look at what you'd like there, chief. Ozark documents are ongoing. Town IT coordination, we can talk about that under a separate item, but I know that has started in terms of what the town's plan is with servers and everything over at the library and the town hall, and it moving to the police station, so that's going to be kind of major coordination that's ongoing outside of this. The road sign for the PD, no change there. We have power requirements going to it. At the end of the project, we'll just have to make a selection there. 46, the easement, you said that was approved and signed?
Well,
Approved?
approved with coming up with, the form they sent us was outdated with their notary and all of that. I'll have the selectmen sign it Tuesday night.
Okay. And the last item that came up, this really isn't part of our project, but in our project we have a docking station for for a pull-up generator. And this would be if your generator, emergency generator that we own, went down and wasn't working. You can rent a generator to pull up and use at the station. It might make sense for the town to look into an agreement with a generator company. Maybe it's South Shore Generator who you use now, because they'll put you on the top of their list if you're already on a list with them and have an agreement with them that if something were to go wrong, they can get one for you right away and pull it up to the station. So I just put it down as something to keep in mind. Maybe you can speak to them about that. So
During construction or after it's all?
after it's done,
Oh,
yeah, it's a port that you can pull up to and make sure that the station gets powered if, God forbid, something happens to your actual generator. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. If we wanted, I think we covered all of my items right now. We wanted to talk about the town IT integration. I'm not sure exactly what we wanted to discuss about with that, but
Well, some of the, from our meeting, Frank, with Rich, and the whole project, Nate.
Yeah, I think, just in summary, we're looking at the whole townwide IT solution to be somewhat housed at the police station. We're working with Tim Graybars, Frank. We've created somewhat of a subcommittee to do that, or a sub-advisory committee. I don't know how that's gonna look moving forward, but we figured, because of the sensitivity of IT, perhaps this isn't the forum in which we discuss it. We're looking from a police station construction perspective to say, we've created space within the police station, that's where IT is gonna be. The specifics as to what will be in there, it may be prudent to get a smaller group together to, figure out how that's gonna look from a town-wide perspective.
Kind of with servers are kept, probably not a good idea to discuss publicly.
Right.
We would agree.
So, and I've asked myself if I can attend the next one, because I'm sure there's things I can answer from the police station building side of things that'll be helpful to the committee. And I know there's always some spillover, even though it's one project for the
Yep.
town. The police station has components to there, so I'd like to be a part of that. So I asked Rita if I could attend.
I'm
Next
certain,
It's October 12th. But it's also the radio boxes, so the fire department's gonna be at the next meeting.
And I've asked Chick Langone, our radio consultant, to be at that meeting.
Okay.
So he can
Great.
speak to that stuff.
Here's some pricing too.
Yeah.
That'll be a help.
Yeah, he's been working on that stuff, pretty in-depth, so he has some good answers.
So I don't know why I asked him to be here today.
well, he's
We're not
such a
gonna-
nice guy.
Yeah. Fortunately, he lives close.
Because Frank's phone needs to be fixed.
There you go.
You still working on that?
You had
Okay.
foresight. You
Okay.
had foresight. I did have one question though. So, all the cabling's being done by AP Whitaker? Like all the network?
It's being done by their, not
Yes.
AP Whitaker, but by the electrical contractor. yeah.
Gotcha, okay, so we don't have to worry about any of that, that's
No.
all gonna be done?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, everything will be pulled, punched down to each room. Then they'll give you a punch down test of every single room, back to the punch down panel. But yeah, all that wiring's done.
Okay, and the video end of it, so I'm just looking at the line items here. The security portion, who's doing?
Signet.
They're doing all of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're trying to set up a meeting with
I
them,
am.
right?
Yeah,
Maybe
that'll-
Tim could be
Yeah,
there during the
that's-
signet.
Yeah, what I'm gonna start doing is, once we get some walls up on the inside so that we can block the interior, we're gonna set up some coordination meetings that are just IT, and we'll have the radio vendor there, yourself,
Yeah.
hopefully, the department, Signet for security, and we'll just go through each system.
Okay.
Any needs, before anything gets boarded up, and make sure we have all the conduit in place, outlets in the right places, that sort of thing, so.
And we should probably try to schedule something with TMLP at some point too, because they're gonna be a big part of, getting the fiber over there and in. And I'm trying to court them to actually run the fiber for us, so that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been getting no answers right now, so
Yeah.
I don't think.
They
they're
just
thrilled
told me
about
straight
doing
up
it.
they didn't do it, so I was hoping you had some connection.
Did they really? Yeah, I've gotten to the point where we could do it, there's gonna be a cost associated with it. I went, okay, let us know what the cost is.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of
Okay.
waiting, so that's where we're at with that, so.
And then LakeCAM on the agenda for Tuesday night. LakeCAM, the cable advisory, and LakeCAM have requested one of the what do you call those things?
Yeah,
Tendrils or coming
yeah, they
through.
basically just need, fiber to run from the new PD to the library.
So that we can be live.
Yeah, so that they
These
can do the
meetings.
broadcast
Yeah.
over that. So I've spoken to TMLP, and they said that there's, what they're gonna pull, what I'm hoping they're gonna pull into the building, will have adequate fiber that they can segment some just for that purpose.
Yeah, okay.
Cause I guess what happened is, LakeCAM found out that Verizon wasn't gonna.
Yeah, there's something in
Yeah,
there, they've been
there was
fighting
a-
with Verizon.
There was a snafu, yeah, they were
Yeah.
under the impression that Verizon was gonna do it all, and they're not. So they're gonna supply electronics, but not the pipe.
Okay.
And it won't affect our network, because I had you look at the whole,
Yeah, the whole
Question.
point is to just, it's gonna be completely off to the side and have nothing to do with, it's not gonna touch our network in any way, it's
Okay.
just gonna be fiber from point to point. So we just gotta work a little bit with TMLP to find out exactly what's gonna be needed equipment-wise at each end. So, but I've talked to them preliminarily and they didn't think it was much of a problem.
And we're working on a conduit that'll go, the handhole right now, if you're looking at the camp, is on the right side of the drive.
Okay.
We're looking at a conduit that'll go underneath the park driveway over to our site.
Okay.
And we'll have another handhole there, which runs to a major communications duct bank and then in. So we actually installed additional conduit just in case there was a need to get into different
Sure.
pathways. So we're covered under the ground right now. We shouldn't have any issues getting into the building. So.
Perfect. All right.
So one of my concerns, and I expressed it earlier, was with LakeCAM, and that is the ability for the town to turn it off. Because there's gonna be times where you don't want them
I already talked
accidentally or
to,
otherwise.
off the record with LakeCAM about
Okay.
that, and to make sure, because that's been brought up by the officers, obviously. They're in that room, we want to make sure that that's not, it's not going out if we have training, so to
Yeah.
ensure that there is a way to.
Yeah, I mean, there
tell,
should
make
be,
sure.
there should be a way that it's fail-safe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Giant red switch that, whatever, you know.
Two coaxes.
That's a real good point, Tim, yeah.
Any other questions on that?
All right, I don't think you guys need me. I'll go work on
I
the
need
phone.
you.
Yeah.
I'll go work on your phone. Do you guys mind if I take a set of this?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Great, thanks. I'm stealing your phone, and I'll be back with good news. Hang on one sec. Is there an unlock code? Can I take what's this? So can you write it down for me? Oh, there is none, okay.
And this is change order 3.
I'm gonna have to cut your phone off, is that what you're telling me? Can I do it?
Signing this front page, was it me or Aaron?
I thought it was you.
I think it was me.
I thought it was you and maybe each of the selectmen. I know it's only
got
once.
one line.
Yeah.
So are we down to this on the, did you cover everything else you want to do?
I did, yes.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions about any of the agenda items that are on here?
I'd like to just bring up something under new business if I can.
Okay, well, you can do that now. I just want to take a look at these.
Yeah, all
I
right.
want to talk.
So, the parks have reached out to me. There's been some ponding in the soccer fields. On a couple of occasions, it's almost reached the fence. So that's of significant concern. I've been on the site multiple times. I've spoken with Taylor, Paul, and even though I don't believe it's a situation where the water's coming off the police station site onto the parking area for the soccer fields, what's happened is the water from the soccer parking has no longer been able to go onto the police station site. Where it was wooded before, it was providing a certain amount of infiltration. So I believe, at least in my opinion, that the police station site is causing some detriment to the parks at this point. I'd like to at least reach out to possibly Jamie and get a cost associated with a drainage evaluation. And then, see how we can fund that, either through this, because it is to some extent tied in with the police station, or from an outside funding source. But it would be my recommendation not to ask the parks to do that.
So this would be for the sake of putting some sort of drainage structure to deal with water in that parking.
That's right.
That's adjacent to the soccer field, in between
Yeah.
the police station site and the soccer field.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
I don't think
Yeah.
that's a bad idea, because I think, I mean, I don't necessarily know how much or how you could evaluate that impact, but that's not the point. I
Right.
think that, we had talked about the idea of maybe even paving that, but I think we want to leave it in better condition than the way we found it, you know what I mean? And I think to have a nice police station where your parking lot, where half the town goes every Saturday to watch your kids play soccer, is flooded, then that's not good.
Right.
Right? So, I totally support that idea of getting that together and trying to, maybe we can use some resources from this project to offset the cost or pay for it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So I'll start with reaching out to Jamie, see if I can get a proposal for the evaluation. And when I mean evaluation, to design a drainage system for it.
Yep.
And then I'll represent that to this group, and probably the selectmen will certainly have to be involved.
it's money well spent because the problem's not gonna go away now. Once that police station's built, you're gonna still have that water sitting there, it's gonna be draining towards the police station now, but it used to drain onto the site, and now it's just sitting there. If we could get something done, hopefully before the winter, because you're gonna start dealing with some ice issues out there, it's pretty significant. I think it's a really good idea to investigate.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea where this water would want to go? Or where it could go?
Well, not really. I think we're gonna have to rely on infiltration. If I'm not mistaken, when they did the soil borings and the perk tests, they were finding the water table was 16, 18, maybe even 20 feet deep. So the soils that are under the surface are adequate for infiltration. So there'll probably be some kind of drainage structure that will help that stormwater infiltrate into the surface. The other thing is, we did cover that with processed material. The parks did that with the highway department. So that's caused some permeability issues, obviously, after you drive on that, for 8 or 10 months. The water sits there and nothing's going in. So it's a combination of things. I think that this is an opportunity to make sure it gets done right. I mean, I know that from my own perspective, I'd like to see some site lighting out there and possibly either other camera locations. Because this is our one opportunity to really, hit a home run here. And there's a little bit of leftover money. I understand, John and Mitzi's concerns relative to you got it, we don't want to just spend it, but from a security perspective, to
Well, I
get that
also
site
think
lighting and cameras.
That's a more reasonable use of the resources for value added that goes beyond the scope of this project, I mean, I think it will make that whole area, it's like I said, you don't want to have a giant mud puddle in that main parking when you can't, you pull in, you're getting out, you get to jump 3 feet over water.
Right.
And then you're looking at a brand new police station, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, there's kind of an inequity with that, so.
I know that initial estimate, I don't know if it was Brian came up with that, to pave that with lighting.
Yeah, we had an estimate on that.
Yeah, it was.
I don't remember
quite
off the top
high.
of my head.
Maybe not.
It was,
$675,000.
but I'm not necessarily saying pave it, but I
Yeah.
think if you at least
Just
do
prep it, do
drainage
some-
and you can do lighting relatively cheaply
Exactly.
with, those LED
Yep.
systems and, I think that's kind of I think that's more of something that we should take on outside of the purview of this, with the understanding that maybe there may be some resources from this that can help with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's the same idea kind of with the drive-in, if they're gonna have us relocate that or reshape that, driveway going into the park, the idea is that if not for this project, the state wouldn't even have their eye on that, so,
Yeah.
we really should, that burden shouldn't fall on the parks. I kind of think it's the same way with the parking lot, to a certain degree.
At least the drainage piece.
Yeah, the drainage piece,
Yeah.
right.
Like I said, we didn't create it, but the issue came up because we were doing the work. You know what I mean?
Yep. So,
Thank you.
all right, thanks, Nate. I don't remember the process of this. What, do we read these and then the committee votes them?
Yeah, I think you
I think
do
that
each
was
one.
What we've done the last time, all right, so there's,
There should be 4.
yep. So these are the payment submission recap for this meeting, to review and approve these invoices for payment. So the first one is a general construction line item to AP Whitaker. This is a submission of $293,728.79. So this is to the contractor for work through this, this timeline. The second one is for the architect and engineering construction, $7,000. Third one is owner's project manager, construction line item, $14,476. And then the last one is material testing for $2,377.54. Anybody have any questions about any of these specific items that we're discussing for payment? entertain a motion.
So moved.
All right, so the motion is to approve these four as requested. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, it's unanimous. All right.
Great. So there's 4 copies of the rec,
Yep.
and then 1 of each.
All right, folks, I think that's it, unless anybody has any new business or open discussion items they want to bring up? Nothing? Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.